Yeah, I was gonna think of that.
Yeah.
Maybe right here. Maybe she'll come around like right here.
Yeah. And then you can,
So maybe I'll just put it right here. And then move over when she comes.
someone can sit here for you. Or maybe I can just move over.
That's why I'm sitting.
That way their foundation can be the knowledge.
Isn't that? I don't know. They might find this way
Nothing worse. Remind me. Sometimes remind me that you
Yes. I never thought those colors would put together. And they
You got Yolanda before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Your friend from Washington.
Yes, yes, Iris.
Yes. My name is.
Kanchan and Ash.
Yes, we greeted.
We agree with that.
We greeted.
I always remember this one.
We're saying that they're not matched.
It just, usually, you don't see those colors together, but it looks amazing.
That's, yeah, it's great.
In India.
In India?
That's very common.
Oh, okay.
Those bright colors.
Wow.
Yeah. Especially in
The,
Rajasthan.
Oh, so I'll see you're right at the season.
Like tigers, someone dressed like,
The little mirrors.
we won't have anything to do with tigers. So, that's how they said it.
That's just how it goes. There wasn't two tigers.
Yes.
There wasn't a tiger. So,
It's good actually.
I was just going to
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You do your tiger thing, I will do my things.
So here goes Buttercup. There's social media. James is.
I do feel like I'm probably
We're gonna move back, we're gonna move back with this.
Oh.
And at the end. I mean,
gentlemen.
Computer equipment?
Different.
Different?
This is the equipment that will be here when I'm gone. So,
While you are gone?
yes, we're trying.
Okay. You got your mission accomplished yesterday?
No.
No? Couldn't do it?
The discharges. So anyway, that
Just for a simple checking account? How much?
It's $5 a month if you don't have over 1,000.
You will, because,
It's not, but it will go.
yeah, but after that you close the account. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. They'll give you $25. Open it. Open it. Yeah. Open it now itself. Why is it so dark? Can we open some things? Don't you feel it's a little dark? Yeah? Oh,
Microphone is off at the moment.
microphone is on it, please. And the two sisters will have to come a little bit in front because there are more people coming. Hello, how are you? You're okay? Good. How are you? Very nice. Then you can massage each other's necks if it's too close. So, yeah, everything is on volume. Oh, this is some other computer. How do you? Okay. Oh, volume is off. That's why. See here, this one. Yeah, it's on all the way. But then, why does it go like a circle with a cross in it?
Well, it's not a max, so the icon's different. I didn't see the crystal.
See, is it all the way up?
Okay.
The volume?
The microphone volume is the question.
Yeah.
This thing they call it.
You know, it's ages since I saw since I have done anything with, what's it called? The Windows. Windows. Yeah, adjust. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
Here is the speaker.
Yeah, that's fine. And there's one more thing which needs to go all the way up. Adjust speaker volume. That's also okay. Can you hear me? Yeah, they can all hear. Perfect. That's all. Let's not fix anything that is working. Yeah, whatever is working, don't fix it. Moral of the story. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let there be light. Oh, very nice. Fantastic. So we are in the section called Guru Stava. Guru Stava means the praise of the Guru, not Guru's Tava. Tava means griddle. That's not what we are talking about. Yeah, Guru's Tava. And if everybody is having the book, we are on page 18 and verse number 10. That is what we are going to study. And before that, we'll do the other thing afterwards. So Guru Stava, the section, is on the praise of the teacher, because the centrality of the teacher to this knowledge has to be emphasized, without which the knowledge cannot take place. So the teacher, even though we keep joking, is a package deal, is an important part of the package. This is what he is talking about. Very beautiful set of verses, and it's going to get even better as we go along. Taryavayam Tarirbodha Taraniyo Bhavarnavah Tatkarnadhara Rupena Tarakam Shri Gurum Bhaje. Slightly different tune to wake up. Yeah. As we see, this whole thing is full of puns, because a pun is a lot of fun. That's why. So it's full of lovely puns, and here the pun is wonderful. What is the pun here? It's all on the oft used what is it called, metaphor of crossing the ocean of samsara. Samsara, this striving and this sorrow. Samsara means some sorrow or the other. Some sorrow, samsara. So this group of sorrows with which I have identified, because I have not identified with the glory of myself, therefore I have identified with the limitations. And the limitations being notional, I don't know they are notional, so I take them to be real. And because I take them to be real, there is suffering around every corner, And therefore, the metaphor, oft used Vedanta metaphor of the ocean of samsara being full of the sharks of doubt, the riptides of despair, the seaweeds of desire and anger entangle, and then the crocodiles, of sorrow and anger and all these things, greed, waiting to, catch the leg and pull you down. So the ocean, and also the ocean of samsara is an irony, because it's water everywhere, but you can't drink it. It's toxic. It's like you can't live on salt water. So it's an irony of all the things that are finite, that are, showing themselves as infinite. There is infinite amounts of water, but what is the use? So, and likewise there is infinite amounts of finite things. What is the use? So therefore, for every Vedanta poet of any caliber, the samsara ocean becomes a wonderful metaphor. They can't get away from it. Even if you paid them, if you say, hey Narahari, come here. Narahari ji, please come here. Here we'll give you a big, we'll bequeath you with this, lots of things. Don't go here. Even someone as versatile as Narahari wants to, the fact that someone as versatile who doesn't go for the cliched, upamas, similes and metaphors, even he is resorting to this, means this has a very powerful abiding presence in the literature, because it is so close to our experience, of being pulled down, bitten and not knowing what bit, all kinds of things, big fish eating small fish, and at best I'm trying to save myself. A few fingers go missing, but this is this is what is everyone's experience. But again, in the hands of Narahari, this metaphor assumes a wonderful proportion and beautiful. So that's why, he says, Tarya vayam, aham avam vayam, we must cross. We must cross. Of this there is no doubt. What will happen if we don't cross? We will become cross. So therefore we absolutely must cross. The crossing, the not crossing is not an option. So crossing has to take place. And so what to cross? How to cross, all these questions come. You cannot just start a sentence with we must cross. How to cross? The crossing here is through a boat, of course, because if you are talking of the ocean of samsara, you don't want a car, you need a boat. Yeah. A car, when you talk about the ocean of samsara, is bilkul bekar. That is how it is. Car means it is of no use. Bekar means useless. And so it is useless. So you need what is that? Not a road-worthy vehicle, because that's not the crossing here. You need a water vehicle. So tarihi means that which crosses the ocean. A boat. An ocean, a boat. Tarihi means boat. So you need a boat. The crossing has to be done. And what is the boat? He says immediately, it's not botaha, it is bodhaha. He must have known English, So, Tarya vayam, we have to cross. And what is this thing with which we are crossing? It is called the boat of knowledge. So you just make a slight replacement. How do you say boat in Sanskrit? Botaha. So that botaha becomes bodhaha. Bodhaha is the boat. Bodha means knowledge, the teaching here. So the teaching is the boat. And you keep crossing. And the boat is ferrying you across. Across what? The ocean of sorrow. Correct? Yeah. And then what is this to be crossed? The ocean of sorrow here is called bhavarnava. Bhava, sorrow, the sorrow of continually becoming or striving to become infinite in the face of everything finite. Trying to make the finite into infinite is the most frustrating occupation ever in the history of humanity. And it continues to be a frustrating occupation because there are enough number of people who sell this as a livelihood, and there are enough number of people who buy into making the finite infinite, as their livelihood. That's why there are all these classes on how to look young when you are 85, How to get rid of wrinkles. Why to get rid of wrinkles? You've worked so hard to get one. Why are you wanting to get rid of it? Wrinkle doesn't come easily. Yeah, you have to have a few years. You have to strive, you have to smile a lot. And after you have smiled for, so many years, then when some wrinkles come, with great difficulty. Why you have to look 45 when you are 85? Confusing everyone, And then you complain nobody gave up the seat in the bus. Nobody is treating me, You can't have the cake and eat it also, Yeah, if you want seat in the bus, you show your age. And if you want to not have wrinkles, then, stand one leg in and one leg out, like in the Indian buses. So the sorrow is this only. Samsara is called the endless ocean of misery because there is no other misery than trying to make the finite into infinite and enjoy it. It's impossible to enjoy the finite unless you know the infinite as yourself. This is how it is. And if you end up enjoying the finite, thinking it is infinite, it very quickly deteriorates into misery. And you know this very well. more than anyone else that misery loves. That's why it is all, let's all be sad together. Then somehow samsara is ratified, justified. Then everything becomes ratified. You know? So this is what this ocean is. This ocean is but a notion, really. And the ocean, if I don't know that it is an ocean, then I have a lot of sorrow to cross over. And so this is called the ocean of sorrow. Bhava, the act of becoming, endlessly becoming, trying to become infinite. You cannot become infinite. You either are or you are not. If you are not infinite, it is just a useless endeavor. And if you are infinite, then it is also a useless endeavor, because if you are infinite, it is something to be discovered. If you are not infinite, you cannot become infinite. Infinite is not a product, it's not a creation, it is you. So therefore what? Therefore, back to the metaphor of crossing. So this horror has to be crossed over. I need a boat which is bodhaha. What is bodhaha? Teaching. And what should be crossed? This ocean of misery. Bhava plus Arnava. Arnava means ocean. Taraniyaha must be crossed. That which is worthy of crossing is called Taraniyaha. Aniyar is the suffix. Tr to cross plus Aniyar. Taraniyaha. And so Taraniyaha, what is there to be crossed? Bhavarnavaha. Okay, so here is the boat. Take the boat, here are the keys to the boat. Here is how to start it up, take and go. No. I don't know how to steer the boat. Why? Because this small little vessel in the middle of this ocean of sorrow, and me who is a sorrowholic, I'm addicted to this ocean. That's why I said misery loves company. I keep justifying the ocean of samsara because other people are also in it, so what's wrong, you know? And so this misery keeps on loving the company, and what do? I succumb to this ocean. And when there are small waves, maybe I can manage a little bit. You know, I bob up and down. But then when there is a big wave, what happens? Yeah, I have to wave goodbye because I cannot handle it. The big waves are beyond me. Totally beyond me. And therefore what? Therefore this has to be fixed. What do I need? I need someone, a ferry person, a person who ferries. Boat woman, boat man, somebody I need, because this is not a do-it-yourself crossing. Yeah, I cannot do it myself. Why? Because glub, glub, glub. That's what will happen. Because I don't know how to cross, because having never crossed before. So when I try to cross, what happens? You know, I become cross. That's all that happens. So, because it's frustrating. I'm not able to steer clear of all the obstacles. Because somehow I have gotten addicted to the very obstacles. Something shines in the ocean, it's bobbing up and down. Oh, what's that? Let me just go towards that. And then it turns out to be just the snout of an alligator. That's all. And it swallows you and spits out the boat. That's all it will do. Yeah, that's the boat for it is just a wrapping that you come in. That's all it is. So then, finished. One attempt, one lifetime, gone. So therefore, I need a helms person, somebody steering the boat, or somebody who is strong enough to cross, you know, and thwack the alligator on the head with one of the oars and say, no, you will not harm us. Go. And the alligator, you know, squeals and goes away. And, you know, that kind of a person, we need somebody who has already crossed this ocean and has taken other people across. In fact, that is what they do. That is the person I want. And that the oars person in Sanskrit is called Karnadhara. Karnadhara means Dharayati, the one who holds. Karna means the, what is that called? there is one, there are two ends of the ship. What is that called? One.
Bow and stern.
Yeah, the stern. The person who is at the stern. Yeah. Yeah, the one who is at the stern is called Karnadhara. Who the holder of this stern, the holder of the place which is called the stern, because that is the place from which the thing is, managed. Whether it is this or this doesn't matter. Yeah. So Karnadhara is the person who is the oarsman, oarswoman, so the ferry person. Tat Karnadhara Rupena. So the one who is at the helm of the boat in the form of the boat's person, here man because his guru was male, in the form of the boatsman, Tarakam. Taraka means the crosser, the agent of crossing. I am not the agent of crossing. The Guru is helping me cross. The Guru is in the Guru is vested the agency of crossing. So Tarakam Shri Guru, the resourceful Guru, Shri here, the one who is always with all the resources to help cross. Lifeboat is there, rope is there, sea sickness tablets are there, and all things, all the tricks of the trade are just underneath the seat of the Guru. There is a little, locked up box in which everything, first aid kit is there, all the things are there. And instructions on what to do is there, how to become seaworthy, instructions are there, everything is there. And so this Taraka, the one who is, the only one who is worth being called Taraka, because I am unable to cross, I need an expert crosser, and the one who makes me cross, the agent of crossing, this resourceful Shri Guru. Shri here is all the resources, all the tricks of the trade are with the teacher. And then what? Tarakam, this agent of crossing, Shri Gurum, Bhaje. Bhaje means I worship. Also I do seva. Bhaja sevayam, both meanings are there. So I do seva for this Guru who is the crosser. So if his arms get tired, I give a little massage. Why? Because I want to cross over, correct? So I give a little massage, and and then if I am further along, I can take the oars for a little bit and give the Guru a little break, because now there are other passengers and I am helping. So like this we can do all kinds of wondrous things, So this is how the whole thing, unfolds very beautifully. And here of course the whole thing is double entendre, the second line, Karnadhara Rupena has another meaning. Karnadhara is the flow of the words which have gone through one ear and through the mouth of the other, and through the ear of the person who has now studied, and then into that, and from that person's mouth who has just studied, goes to the ear of another student. So Karnadhara means a flow of words which really symbolizes the whole lineage. The lineage is nothing but a closely guarded flow of words from the ear of the student to the mouth of the teacher. Yeah. So first the mouth of the teacher to the ear of the student, then the ear of the student who has turned teacher to the mouth of from their mouth again to the ear of the next student. And so if we trace the lineage, the glory of this lineage is not because they had some kind of, Queen Anne's furniture, because that's why this lineage is known. Because they had all these antiques. No. Or because they came on the Mayflower. No. That's not why this lineage is known. This lineage has become famous only because all it is a flow of words that have found their destination and have continued to flow. It's like a water that has, let's say it has come from above only in the sense of respect for the teacher. So the water flowing from above to below, does it need a pump? No, it naturally flows. And in the flowing, what does it do? If there are hollow, what is that? Little eddies, crevices, ravines, it will fill that up and then continue to flow. And then again at the next level there are some more holes and little craters. It will fill that up. It won't stop there. It will continue to flow. That is what is Karnadhara. And those holes are the what? They are the various students along the way who felt they were not whole. That is representing the holes. Yeah. So that student is filled up, and once that student is filled up, Purayati Sarvan, and that student then out of gratitude and out of just the glory fills up the next hole. And even though the lineage is filling up, that student gets the credit for filling up the next hole. And so like this the water keeps flowing through various, from Para, to Avara, from what came earlier to what came later. Effortlessly the birds clean off all the sense of lack, represented by the whole. Because often what happens, when there is a deep sense of lack, you look to the significant other to fill it up, And then what happens? The significant other is also looking to you to fill up. This may be a good reason to get married. But, this is not an ideal situation. Why? Because what happens is that there is a certain way in which both go away empty. Same thing if you have a friend, So therefore what? I here, by committing to this knowledge, by being at the receiving end of this flow, that's the commitment to the knowledge. I take the responsibility for filling myself up. All I have to do is show up, that's all. I take the responsibility, I make a commitment to this teaching, and I am, by making the commitment to the teaching, I am very much at the receiving end of this wonderful flow. So all the holes are filled up. When the holes are filled up, I become holy, no pun intended. And from this place, any connections that I make, I don't make out of a sense of lack and wanting someone to help me to fill it. No, but they want to be filled. I am full enough to help them without needing that in return, because I have this srota. Srota means flow. And here is an interesting pun. How do I make sure that I have this srota? By becoming shrota, the listener. Yeah. I become a shrota, the listener, to be in the srota, the flow. Fantastic, he is so inspiring. Yeah. And so this way I position myself, I open my mouth, and then position myself to this jet of water that is coming, so that I am no longer a hungry ghost. And when I have had my fill, I am full, then I move aside, or just from my mouth it continues to flow to others. Very nice it is. So this endless flow is, is talked about as the Taraka. Taraka means the one who crosses is the Guru. And who is the Karnadhara? Karnadhara is this endless flow in the form of holding the blessings of the lineage right from the start, where it started with Sadashiva Samarambham, started with Lord Shiva or Lord Narayana, we can trace, and came all the way to me, undiluted. Now here can be a doubt. How come maybe one guru was bad guru? Yeah. Instead of Sadguru, one guru was sad guru. And so maybe that guru, because one bad apple spoils the bunch, correct? We have heard that. And so one bad guru can spoil the whole lineage, right? Wrong. Why? Because it is not about the individual. And this knowledge, since it is centered on you, there is no attrition. There is no possibility of distorting, because it is based on the self-revealing I. That I am is not something to be, distorted. Are you here? Yes. So if I say no, will you believe? No. Exactly. So even if one guru were to teach wrongly, that guru is not even called a guru. Yeah. The lineage is based upon the most successful and the most exalted, stalwart names in the lineage who have helped this, water to flow endlessly. And since the knowledge is centered on I, and since the I has already revealed itself, the knowledge is not revealing you. The knowledge is just removing the notions you have about yourself. So therefore there cannot be any distortions. No, but what if there is an improvement? It cannot be any improvement. You are infinite. Okay, please try and improve. I'll give you some time. Yeah. I am infinite plus one. Okay. That plus one is what? It's a value added. That's all. I am infinite plus name and form. You can have 1,000 names and forms. Sahasra Nama. Take it. What is it going to do? Nothing. So therefore what? The infinite doesn't make any difference. That you are infinite, Namaha. Wonderful. That's all it is. You cannot say I am going to improve upon that. That your infinite is enough. That filling up is what is called. That holes and the water is a very good metaphor, because in this what you hear and what you see it's very visual, because the person feels full of holes like a big bag of lack that you're not even able to tell your best friend because you're so ashamed of it. But here comes this torrential fall of water, cool, sweet, refreshing, filling. And once it fills you up, unlike the water, you're not thirsty again. It fills you up. It's like the pothole. It fills you up, finished. End of story. You're not thirsty again. So that's where the water also becomes a limited example here. You're not thirsty again. You're no longer thirsty. You're all filled up with the glory of yourself, which came from the lineage, from para, from the absolute, from the higher, meaning in terms of time, from that which went before to avara, that which is going to come after. And what happens as a result? All the karmas go. Where? To the next person? No. Because it's like a dead person's bank account. Yeah. Where will the money go? That's how it is. It's like, the voters got very frustrated in the last elections and 3 dead people they elected, even though they knew they were dead. It was too late to pull out the names, so the names were still on the ballot. But in certain counties, they did not like who was standing. So as a protest, they elected the dead person. Now my question is, who is going to swear this person into office? That is where the karmas are attached to the doer, karta. The karta is falsified in the wake of this knowledge. So the karmas squealing just dissolve. Yeah. And then all the doubts are gone. The doubts and the lack have a friendship. The lacks further the doubt, and the doubt in turn makes the lack bigger. So all the doubts go. And then this kind of a old, sad, infinite knot, pun intended. You've seen the infinite knot? Yeah, I don't know how they do it. But that's what is in the heart. Instead of the infinite knot with its intricate ways of just tangled up is in the heart. It's all tight over here. There's always a perpetual tightness in the heart. I can't even breathe properly because there are fears and there are tears and there are desires and there's all these doubts about myself, and I just don't feel good most of the time. I just keep it hidden. And this heart infinite knot, I just do some distractions, so that I don't notice it. That infinite knot is released. Totally released. That knot is the knot of ignorance. The knot is the cost of not identifying with my own glory. That knot is released. Vidyate hridaya granthihi. Hridaya granthi means the heart knot. Instead of knowing I am the infinite, I have an infinite knot. That's the problem. Infinitely knotted up in my own confusions and conclusions about the nature of the self. Vidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha. Bid means broken. Chid, again, torn asunder, just is an onomatopoeic word. Chidyante sarva samshayaha, all doubts are torn asunder. Kshi, just like it sounds, Kshiyante cha asya karmani, all the karmas are just, gone. Tasmin drishte paravare. Para, avara, two meanings. When that flow is seen, drishte, internalized, not seen as an object, but internalized as the very truth of the subject. What happens? When the para, when the flow of knowledge, comes to this avara, the one who came after, then all these things happen. These three things, the doubts are torn asunder, the heart knot is gone, and all the karmas standing in my name are destroyed. Another meaning, when this avara, this lowly person, knows the para as oneself, that is when all this happens. Para means Bhagavan, Ishvara. When that I see myself as the absolute, then all that is gone. Very beautiful. This is from the Mundakopanishad. Looks like Narahari was thinking about that. Yeah. So, Karnadhara Rupena Tarakam also double meaning. First meaning is what we saw, that the direct meaning is the agent of crossing. Second meaning, Taraka here means a mantra. It is associated with Lord Rama. The word Rama comes from Ram, not R-U-M, but Sanskrit word Ram, which means to revel. And what is the object of the revelry is nothing but the subject I. So Lord Rama is the one in whom I revel. So the word Rama itself becomes a Taraka, crosses over everything that I don't revel in myself. I start to revel. That's why it's called Taraka mantra, the one that crosses me from the person I thought I was to the person I always wanted to be. That is the crossing. So there is an external crossing, and then in terms of the knowledge and the what is that, the samsara, and then the internal crossing here is through the mantra. And through the mantra, I prepare for this external crossing, because the chitta shuddhi is needed. The heart should be a place without ragadveshas and conflicts. And then what? Chitta naishchalya is needed. Chitta naishchalya means the mind should have the power to stay in this age of multitasking, so-called multitasking. So, therefore what? So this Taraka mantra prepares me for the crossing, because otherwise I will get scared to even get into the boat. I will say, please go away, Guru, please go away, ferry, please go away, ferry man, ferry woman. I have learned to bob up and down in the ocean. I am okay. That boat looks scary. So even to get into the boat, I need a certain preparation. To commit to this knowledge, I need a certain preparation. And the mantra that the Guru gives is called Taraka, because it has the power to cross, even though it is a secondary auxiliary, what is that called? Helping hand to the knowledge. It's still, the power is so much here, it is called Taraka mantra. You can repeat. Shri Rama, Shri Rama, Rama Rameti, Rama Rameti, Manora, Shri Rama Rama Rameti, Rame Rame, Rame Rame, Manorame, Manorame, Shri Rama Rama Rameti, Shri Rama Rama Rameti, Rame Rame Manorame, Rame Rame Manorame, Shri Rama Rama Rameti, Shri Rama Rama Rameti, रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने together श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने. Yeah, this, gives the benefit of saying the word Rama 1,000 times. Yeah. You just say this mantra and we can write it and send it to you and you can memorize it. And this mantra, even when you don't want to smile, makes you smile. Guaranteed. You say, I'm not going to smile. Shri Ram Ram Rameti. See? You can't help but smile. One more time. Shri Ram Ram Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane. Yeah, very nice. Because this was given to Goddess Parvati by Lord Shiva at the end of the Vishnu Sahasranama. Goddess Parvati said, all these Vishnu Sahasranamas, 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. Who has the time to chant and who has the tongue to twist around all that, all those words. And don't think that you in these days are interested in shortcuts. Even in those days people wanted shortcuts. And Parvati says, is there a shortcut? I don't want to say the whole thing. What if somebody wanted the shortcut? And this is what is given. Just say Shri Rama 3 times. Shri Rama Rama Rameti. Shri Rama 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 iti. Thus, 3 times when you chant it, Rame. Then what happens? I revel in Rama. Rame, Rame. I revel in Rama. Oh Manorame. Oh Goddess Parvati, who is the delight of everyone, every mind. Who is the delight of every mind. Sahasranama, equal to 1,000 name. That is equal to 1,000 name. Tat tulyam, Sahasranama tat tulyam. What is equal? Ramanama. The name of Lord Rama is equal to 1,000 names. Varanane. Oh, the delightful face that grants every boon. The delightful face of the goddess that grants every boon. Through you, this boon for all the samsara-holics, may let it be used. Yeah, you just chant this every day. And chant this all the time. Even at work you can chant. You can chant this how long it took, 2 minutes. Like this you can keep chanting. You can write it down and chant. So very nice. So this is what is called Taraka. So the Guru crosses, not just, don't think of some, fuddy-duddy ferry person, oaring you across the thing. But that is through this mantra, the power of the mantra that lights up the mind in order to accept its own glory. That's the thing. The power of the mantra is such that finally people get into the boat. Otherwise, nobody will even get into the boat. Next one. तारकस्योपदेशेन गुरुर्भूत्वा विमुक्तिदः काश्यामपीश्वरस्तस्मात्. Very good. काश्यामपीश्वरस्तस्मात् ईश्वरादधिको गुरुः. Yeah, this is fantastic. So, now this is for the quintessential doubter. This next mantra has been made. Because even after such a wonderful mantra, such a wonderful verse, there can be some lingering doubt. Who is this person? This is the do-it-yourself wala or wali. Wali means the agent of the one who says, how come I can't do it myself? And also, all knowledge comes from what? You said Sadashiva, from Lord Shiva, from Lord Narayana. Why should I have to go through you, the mediator? I'm going to go above you. You are just, you are also fallible. You also have to go to the eye doctor, So, you are also fallible. You also get stomach pain. You also have to go to the doctor. So, what's the big deal? Why I have to go through you? I am going, you got it from someone else, doesn't matter. But I am going to bypass you, bypass the whole lineage and go to who? Ishvara. I'm going to go to God. See what you think of that. I want to go directly to God. Why I have to go through you? And you can sound very nice and say, oh, the what is that? The cascading waters filling up the lake, all these things. You can devise all kinds of metaphors. You are a vachala. Vachala means you are very easy and smooth with words. Why should I fall for that? And how do I know that the knowledge coming from you is not flawless? Especially when you have flaws, your body has flaws. So, therefore, I am going directly to the flawless. Bye-bye, teacher. This is for those kinds of people who have that feeling that I'm going to bypass this lineage. Because this lineage, why I have to work with this lineage? This lineage is full of flawed entities. Jamadagni, one of the sages. Jamadagni was so called because he was born angry. Durvasa, meaning it's very difficult to live with him. Yeah. Another sage. But they were all sages. Vishwamitra. What did Vishwamitra do? Vishwamitra wanted to become a sage. He was a sage wannabe. He was actually a king, But then he was leading the army and he went to the ashram of another sage. Vasishtha's ashram he went. And then he went well after the time when they had finished serving food. Ashram is not like your home. Whenever you want, you go graze. That's not how it is. Ashram means when everything is washed and put away, there are no leftovers. Until recently, there were no fridges also. Then again, it is evening cooked. So tea time, you will just find tea. Lunch time, you will just find lunch. Like that it is. So they came well after the lunch hour. And then he had a huge army, 200 soldiers and horses, everything. And then what? The sage called a cow, Kamadhenu, wish-fulfilling cow he had. And then he said to the cow, please take down the menu. Rice, dal, roti, sabji for 200, foot soldiers, and something extra special for their commander-in-chief. Make some payasam also. And then what? And for the horses, some nice grass and gruel and, rice, water, all these things. Something nutritious so they can all go back, they are tired. And, he gave the menu. Menu must have been on a leaf because in those days the cow assimilated the menu. I'm embellishing the story, I'm sure you know this by now. The cow assimilated the menu nicely, and then lo and behold, there was a banquet right in front of them. The cow was that kind of a cow. And they all ate, not even a small little, grain of rice was left. They just, there was no need to even wash the dishes. Everything was so nicely cleaned. Everything was lapped up. And then Vishwamitra said, can I have the cow? And the sage said, no. I can give her to you, no problem. But she will not cook for you. How come? Because to command her, one has to be desireless. If you have desires, because you will keep, saying, okay, I want some soda now, and I want some ice cream, and I need some, pasta. It's not for you. The one who can command this cow has to be, essentially free of desires, binding desires. And I can see that you are full of rajas, restless, tamas. You haven't done the inner work that is needed to free yourself from this. So do the work and come. I'll gladly give you the cow. Right now you can go. Then this one, Vishwamitra, had a cow, figuratively speaking. And he said, so what do I have to become in order to deserve this cow? He says, you have to become Maharshi. Maharshi means the Rishi of all Rishis, the sage of all the sages you have to become. He went off and he did such a horrible tapas. Horrible means really horrifying tapas. Standing on one leg, not eating for days together, and starving himself. And he was just a rib cage, that's all. You could, play, you could use the ribs to play an instrument with a stick. Like that, he was so thin, emaciated. And in fact, the gods got worried. What is he doing? There's a story. All the devatas got worried. And then there was drought because the effect of his austerities, the heat of his austerities on the land created drought. That's not the cause of the California drought, by the way. Anyway, so and then, they all got worried what to do. And Vishnu is here for disaster management. Lord Vishnu is there for damage control. Yeah, Lord Vishnu said, I've got this in the bag, don't worry. And Lord Vishnu, through his Vishnu Maya, assumed the damsel's avatara in certain accounts of the story. In certain other accounts of the story, Lord Vishnu sent a heavenly nymph by the name of Menaka. Some people say this Menaka was born out of Vishnu's imagination, meaning he himself created her and sent. Doesn't matter. And Menaka was a very good dancer. Very good looking also. And this Rishi is in strict meditation. And then he hears anklets. At first, very, far away, and then coming near, and then breaking into a dance. And he has his eyes tightly shut, but he cannot resist taking a peek. First one eye opens, both eyes open. And then he succumbs to her charm. In fact, he writes, this has been there. This has been preserved. He says that my karma is too strong in the face of this temptation. So he succumbs to her, and a few years later, many years later actually, they have children, etc. Then he picks up the Maharshi thread later on. Much wiser and older, and more prepared. So then the point of this story is, he also succumbed to the temptation of this heavenly nymph, the damsel. And so really speaking, why should I go through any sage, especially a sage full of rage? Why should I go through all these people? I want to go directly through Bhagavan. That is what I want to do. And so that doubt is there in the mind. And that doubt is probably there in many minds that dare not even accept the doubt because it's very deeply ensconced. Narahari here does us all a favor by dismissing this doubt through this very important mantra verse. Let us look at it in detail. Tarakasya upadeshena, through the teaching of the Guru, who is the Taraka, Tarakasya upadeshena Ishvaraha Vimuktidaha Guruhu Bhutva. Yeah, this is how to write it in prose. Tarakasya upadeshena Ishvaraha Tarakasya upadeshena Guruhu Bhutva Ishvaraha Vimuktidaha Bhavati. We have to add Kashyamapi Tasmad Adhikaha Guruhu. So, Tarakasya upadeshena. Yes, you can go to Bhagavan. Go. Where will you go? I will go to Kashi, Varanasi, the holiest place in the whole world. Yeah. That's what the Indians believe, The Jewish people believe something else. That's okay, but this is what they believe, that Varanasi is the center of the universe. Varanasi is a very holy city on the banks of the sacred Ganga. So I'll go to Kashi, where Lord Vishwanatha, the Lord of the universe, Lord Shiva, I can go there and say, I need moksha, I need liberation from this ocean of samsara, which is but an ocean, I have heard. Teach me. I don't want to go through your interlopers and intermediaries, most of whom are imposters. I want to go directly through you. And then what happens? Kashi Vishwanatha teaches. How does he teach? By becoming a guru. By donning the robes of a teacher. Same thing, Lord Shiva teaches through Dakshinamurti, who is the Guru. So really speaking, you cannot get away from the fact that for this knowledge you need a teacher. Even if you go directly to God, God will say, just wait a second right here and pull a curtain, go behind the curtain, dress in the robes of the teacher and come out. So who is more important, God or Guru here? Guru is more important. Who is better? Guru is better because Guru is the one who teaches. Gu means darkness, ignorance. Ru means remover. So even if Bhagavan were to teach, Bhagavan teaches after donning the form of the Guru. So that is the idea here. All knowledge comes from Bhagavan, and even the knowledge coming from the Guru is coming from Bhagavan alone. This is how it has to be seen. So if you bypass the Guru and go to Bhagavan, what will happen? Bhagavan will have to, you're just giving extra work to Bhagavan. Because Bhagavan has to go don the robes of the Guru just to teach you. Or Bhagavan will say, I am busy today, I will send you a Guru. Oh, Oh, that same Guru, yeah. The same Guru I ran away from, yeah. Oh, that one you sent? Yes. But it didn't come with a tag saying with love from Lord Shiva. That's why that's why I didn't know. So, that's why I didn't know it came from you. Why didn't you say so before? Doesn't matter, I'm saying now, go. Yeah. This is what happens. People like this. People are very particular about all this. They want direct from Bhagavan. And then they will, it's like that, you've heard of that Lord Krishna and the flood? Yeah? You've heard that story?
Yes.
Yeah? Some people are saying no, so I'll just recap it. So this man was stuck in the flood. And then, he was a great devotee of Bhagavan, Krishna. And he said, Krishna, I know you won't fail me. I know you will send someone. And the king, had ordered a boat for evacuation. And the town crier came in the boat and said, everybody get on, get on, get on. He said, pooh, not you. Who is going to get into this Janata boat? Janata boat means full of all jostling people. This masses. I am a bhakta. I am a devotee. I am above and beyond the masses. I want a special dispensation. Lord Krishna has to drop the boat. And then his wife and children said, we knew you were mad, but we did not know you were this mad. We are going, you stay. Then the house got filled up. Then he sat on the roof. The king who was, then the ministers were going. And the ministers said, whoever is left, please come on. No, Lord Krishna has to send the boat. Bye-bye. Then the king and the queen were leaving last to make sure that there was nobody else. Please get into the boat. Come on, don't be a fool. And by this time it's coming to his nose. There's no other tree, nothing he can climb. And then what? They also went away. Glub, glub, glub. After that, because of his good karma, he was put right in front of Lord Krishna. He was very angry. After taking the water out of his ears, he said, how dare you? You said, Name bhaktaha pranashyati. My devotee is never destroyed. And you left me in the lurch. I was full of Shraddha. Shraddha means great reverence and devotion. And I was waiting for you to send the boat. And you have disappointed me. And Lord Krishna said, we have to change your name to Manda. Manda means slightly dull. Yeah. Because who sent the first boat? Oh, it was you? Yeah. Who sent the second boat? Who sent the third boat? And if you're bent on destroying yourself, I can't do anything. So similarly, if the teaching has walked into your life, it is because of years of prayer. Whose prayer? Not the neighbors. Your own prayer. No, but I didn't want you. I wanted Bhagavan. This is how it is. So this is to have a certain vision adjustment here. That everything that comes from Bhagavan only. Even the Guru has been sent by Bhagavan. That is what one has to understand. Because Guru means the one who teaches Mahavakya Upadesha. Mahavakya Upadesha Karta Guruhu. Even though the word Guru is loosely used, dance Guru, music Guru, food Guru, foodie Guru, This is just, the word Guru has to be reserved for the one who gives Upadesha, who teaches that the oneness between you and God, who reveals the oneness. That is the only one who is Guru. No one else can be called, really speaking, Guru. So that being the case, if you pray for this, discovering this oneness, one Guru will be sent to you. Yeah. So the thing is, the prayer should be, may I have the grace to recognize and accept what is sent instead of constantly fighting a battle with myself. That is what the whole thing is. And so, Kashyam api, even in Kashi, Kashi is, he's going to have some, he must have been from Kashi, because there's a few Kashi verses coming up. So Kashi is known for many things. Kashi is known for the holy city. Varanasi, Kashi synonyms. Kashi is known for Mother Ganga. Kashi is also known for giving moksha. Moksha means what? Freedom from samsara. So I just have to get there and I'm free. That's what most Hindus believe. But no. You get there and you are not free. No, but they say if you die in Kashi, you will be free. Well, has anybody come back to tell you? To tell you if that is the truth? But still people believe this. And all the people, many times, elderly couples go to migrate, they buy a flat in Kashi. And sometimes they do it prematurely. They are still in their 50s, they say, okay, our children are grown up, we are just going to go. And they go and stay in Kashi. 20 years they are there, death doesn't come. Then the children write, great grandchild is born, please come and see. Then they go to Mumbai for one day and they die there. So much for wanting to plan your end of the life in Kashi. Bhagavan has the last laugh. So the belief is Kashi frees, that is the belief. So he says that in Kashi also if you go, and if you go to visit Lord Vishwanatha and pray for liberation, Lord Vishwanatha, Lord Shiva also has to don the robes of the Guru. Even in Kashi, moksha comes because of the teaching, not because of going to Kashi. But the Guru is everywhere. You can find a Guru everywhere, anywhere. And so therefore you don't have to go here, go there. The Guru is already there, so therefore Ishwarad Adhiko Guruhu. The Guru is greater than Ishvara. This is his bhavana. Because he sees the Guru as an incarnation of Ishvara, so really there is no greater or lesser. But it is true that Bhagavan has certain limitations in speaking, in keeping with this knowledge. Because the limitations are what? Your own karma phala are the limitations. So Bhagavan cannot, the karma phala means the results of your actions. The results of your actions are also what is called the law of karma, correct? So the law of karma, Ishvara cannot transcend. Because Ishvara is quote unquote bound by the law of karma. If you don't understand this, don't worry, it will become clear later. If not today, whenever we have the next class. So Ishvara is also, as it were, cannot, like supposing if you say, I want to be very rich, but that is not in the karmic trajectory. Ishvara can shower a few gold coins here and there, but can't make you Bill Gates because your own karma is opposing it. That's all I mean. But since moksha is not based on karma, this is what we have to understand. Moksha is not your karma. It is not written in your horoscope whether you will have freedom or not. You cannot find out, even though people go to Pujya Swamiji and show their horoscope and say, will I get moksha? People do that routinely and he always says yes, because it is not dependent on your karma. Moksha is not prarabdha, it is purushartha. Purushartha means you have to move your hands and legs, you have to desire the knowledge, you have to do something about the desire, you have to get the preparation, you have to seek the teacher, all this you have to do. So it is dependent on you. So therefore Guru can give moksha easily. It may be difficult for Ishvara, but for Guru he can give moksha easily, because when you ask for something from Ishvara, then Ishvara has to think, is it in keeping with your karma or not? But Guru, moksha is not dependent on your karma. So Guru is freer than Ishvara. That is going to be taken up, a thread that is going to be taken up slightly later. So we'll stop here, not forever, just for a few minutes. In about 10-15 minutes we'll come back and then take it up. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Very nice. If there are any questions, think about it. After that, we'll have question answers. Amber, nice to see you. Wonderful. Glad that you are here.
Great.
So,
She got first place, second place.